Hi everyone, myself Dr. V.T. Magrad will begin water technology chapter from this particular class. This is the lecture 1. In this lecture series 1, I am going to cover the syllabus of this module 4, Introduction to Water Technology, Sources of Water, Impurities present in water, boiler feed water, boiler troubles due to scale and sludge formation. So, this much of the syllabus I am going to cover in this first lecture. Let us go for the introductory part. Water, as you know, it is the most abundantly available compound on the Earth's surface. It covers almost all 72% of the Earth's surface. It gets evaporates continuously from the surface of ocean, rivers, lakes, and it gets enter into the atmosphere and form cloud. Cloud, it moves along with the wind, and then wherever it finds the cooler region, rain is going to be occur on the surface of the earth. During raining process, rainwater gets including with impurities such as gases, dust, and say many of the things which are present in the atmosphere during its journey from the cloud to the earth surface. Once water reaches the earth surface after the raining, river flows, and during the river flow, river water encounters the surface of the earth and collects many of the mineral salts, silt, clay from the land, and also water, river water as well as pond. These are going to be getting contaminated with the effluents discharged by the industries, domestic municipalities, social and public establishments like hospitals and say restaurants, etc. So all these when they are going to be releasing so much of the effluents, and then when water gets contaminated, it is our prime duty to save water and reuse the water. For this purpose, we have to adopt certain techniques to reuse the water, to save the water. Okay, there is a saying in word, saving is nothing but that is earning. So in this context, we have to save water. We have to adopt so many techniques to purify the water and hence reuse the water. Depending upon the contaminations associated with the water, we have to adopt different techniques, as well as depending upon our usage of the water for a particular application also, which type of purification is needed is depending on. For example, if water is required for injection purpose, so then simply reverse osmosis technology will not be helpful. Distillation is also required along with ultraviolet ray treatment. Okay, after getting reverse osmosis water which is free from salts, that water has to be subjected to distillation process, and afterwards reverse osmosis water has to be distilled, and then it is to be treated with the ultraviolet ray to kill the germs and all the bacteria. Then okay, it is called as it is qualified for the usage of the water for injection purpose, etc. Okay, for any of the biological purposes. For drinking purpose, reverse osmosis technology is enough, as well as for industrial purpose. In order to use the water in the boiler, one can go for coagulation method, as well as to remove the particulate matter as well as suspended matter, and then one can go for the usage of ion exchange process to remove dissolved salts. Okay, then one can go for usage of the water into the boiler. Likewise, we have to understand which type of the impurities or how the water has got affected, what are the impurities that are present in the water, and then by making analysis, proper analysis, we have to understand that one, and then we have to adopt certain proper method to treat the water and to decide about the application of the water. Okay, so let us try to understand what are the sources of water. So usually various sources are available, and those sources can be classified broadly as surface water sources as well as groundwater resources. Surface water sources are nothing but rainwater, river water, lake water, pond water, sea water, etc. Whereas underground water, they are nothing but spring water as well as well water. And the various impurities present in such type of water are classified into dissolved gases. Okay, so first there are several different say types of impurities are there. Let us try to understand about what are the dissolved gases present in the water usually. So like oxygen and carbon dioxide, oxides of the sulfur, ammonia, oxides of the nitrogen, okay, which are there in the atmosphere, okay, due to variety of activities of the biosphere, okay, biological sphere, okay, they are entering into the atmosphere, they do get dissolved in the water during the rain. So these are all called as dissolved gases. You may ask, why this dissolved oxygen is also going to be considered as, a threat, because if the dissolved oxygen is there, that helps corrosion for the boiler. Okay, so boiler corrosion is going to be initiated due to the presence of dissolved oxygen. Therefore, every gas, if it is required in one situation, it should not be required in another situation. Without oxygen in the air, okay, a human being as well as so many plants cannot live. Okay, their life is not at all going to be existing without the oxygen in the environment. Okay, so with the presence of oxygen in the water, okay, so then it will be creating a havoc. So in certain conditions, and if the water is for the drinking purpose, that has to have more quantity of oxygen, because with that the water containing more oxygen can oxidize the organic matter present in the water. So digestion will be happening very properly with such type of the water. So dissolved gases usually present in the water are oxygen, carbon dioxide, oxides of the sulfur, oxides of the nitrogen, ammonia gas, etc. All these are derived from atmosphere. Then dissolved solids. Solids means bicarbonates, chlorides, sulfates, nitrates, nitrites, silicates of all these are of nothing but calcium and magnesium mainly, and then sodium. What I mean to say, water will be contaminated with sodium bicarbonate, calcium bicarbonate, magnesium bicarbonate, etc., sodium chloride, magnesium chloride, calcium chloride, etc. In the similar sense, calcium sulfate, magnesium sulfate, etc. So the salt of these, produces water to to acquire hardness also. Okay. So then suspended impurities. The suspended impurities means they can be allowed to settle at the bottom, or else by using appropriate filter paper one can remove those suspended impurities by the way filtration process. And then suspended matters can be classified as inorganic impurities as well as organic impurities. Inorganic impurities mainly clay, silica, oxides of iron, and oxides of magnesium, etc. Okay. Whereas organic matter as a contamination, as a suspended impurity, okay, it is having decayed animal or dead animals, vegetables, okay, excreta, etc., which are present in the water, constitute organic suspended impurity in the water. Then what are what so for which water we needed to say boiler feed water. Pure water is desirable to use in the boiler. Water used in boilers is called as boiler feed water. If boiler feed water contains impurities, it will be leading to many of the problems. Okay, so which type of the problems? There will be the formation of scale and sludge. There will be the boiler corrosion. Okay, so let us try to understand what is this scale and sludge formation. When the water is heated to form the steam, during that time the suspended matter as well as the dissolved salt present in the water, it will be after getting water steam form, these solid particles get deposit on the inner surface of the boiler, irrespective of the size of the particles. They get deposit on the inner surface of the boilers. If these materials form hard, dense, and sticky coating on the boiler surface, it is called as scale. If the precipitate formed in the boiler are soft, loose, and non-adherent, they are called sludges. Okay. Both the scale and sludge cause a number of problems in boiler units. So then, what are the harmful effects of these scales and sludges? The deposition of uniform insulating hard and adherent layers of scales on the inner surface of the boiler causes a number of adverse effects on the performance of the boiler. Some ill effects of the scale and sludge are given below. Okay, wastage of the fuel, decrease in the boiler explosion, decrease in the efficiency, etc. Okay, so wastage of the fuel means what? Wastage of the fuel means whenever the fuel is burnt excessively, okay, that has to be considered as a wastage of the fuel, because that scale formed well within the boiler, okay, do not conduct heat energy from outside to the inside. Excessively one has to go for heating process. So then that deposited salt is going to be relieved from the inner surface. It drops inside the wall, okay, of the boiler. Decrease in boiler safety and boiler corrosion. boiler corrosion as well as explosion. So boiler explosion is most expected as, when when the within the boiler, okay, the scale, some part of the scale, if it is peeled off, removed by itself, if it is going to be falling in the water, it is said to be removed. So in that case, if anybody heat that particular steam, that particular part where the scale has been removed gets heated a lot. Water adhered to that particular part will get excessively heated to form the gas, and that will lead to explosion. Okay, they themselves are not so safe when they use very improperly. And then decrease in the boiler safety. Decrease in the boiler safety means if the fuel is used continuously, and then steam is forming continuously, and then suddenly from a particular part of the scale, if it is going to be dropped, that particular portion conducts the heat excessively immediately. The water in that part present converts very rapidly into the gaseous form, and expands rapidly, and it will lead to the boiler explosion. Thus, one to the another things, they are interlinked to each other, and thus they are going to wastage of the fuel, decrease in the boiler safety, boiler explosion, decrease in efficiency, etc. So prevention of scales and sludge can be easily done by the way external treatment, internal treatment, blow down. External treatment means the methods which are adopted to avoid the scale forming the scale formation within the boiler is external treatment. For example, if you remove the salt by means of ion exchange process before entering that water inside the say boiler, then that is considered as external treatment. Internal treatment, depending upon the applications, the internal treatment that varies. Internal treatment means the treatment which has been adopted within the boiler. They are nothing but internal treatment. Blow down means this entire setup of the boiler has to be stopped, and then all say scale and sludges, whatever that has been formed, that has to be removed, and then once again the entire plant has to be made to operate. So this is called as blow down process. So wisely accommodating all these procedures, okay, one can minimize the wastage of the fuel, and one can achieve the efficiency. Okay, so read well properly all these